Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Wednesday Wisdom. My name is JB Hilliard, and I don't know why I'm tickled all of a sudden, but these are weekly video snippets of information designed to just educate you in the areas of estate planning and probate, and to answer questions of other legal concerns you may have. And actually, I want to continue again from last week's Wednesday Wisdom, talking about that time of year that is coming up upon us very quickly here, and that's tax season. So there are just a few updates I wanted to share with you in case you didn't already know. And I'll just do like three of them real quick. So the first one is charitable deduction, a charitable contribution deduction. So for those of you who itemize your taxes, itemize your deductions, you have a line item for charitable contributions. But for those others of you who don't itemize, you never really had that opportunity to deduct your donations from the tax year. Well, the IRS has added that in for this tax season, for tax year 2020, where you can deduct, for those of you who don't itemize, you can deduct up to $300 in charitable donations. So that's one quick change that works in your benefit if you have given to those charitable organizations. Another one is geared more toward my self-employed or independent contractor people out there, and that is where your non-employee compensation is now reported, which is a 1099 NEC for non-employee compensation, whereas that used to be, was it box 7 on the 1099 miscellaneous? Now that has been removed and it has its own form. So you should have already gotten that, or should be getting that any day now from your organizations who paid you as an independent contractor last year. And again, that's a new form 1099 NEC. That was actually in use some years ago. I think the last time it was used was either 1982 or 1984, somewhere in the 80s. But the IRS has brought that back for whatever reason, and so you'll see that slight change in your tax documentation for this year. And then another change that I want to mention real quickly here is that for the first time, according to an IRS webinar I attended earlier this week, for the first time ever, the Form 1040 is entirely in Spanish. There is a Spanish version of the Form 1040 and its instructions, as well as the Form 1040 SR, which is the SR is now the forms for its seniors, which is basically a larger font size, but same information on the 1040. And I did not realize this, but the IRS is translating, or is in the process, or has done this, translated a lot of their forms and instructions in somewhere around 20 different languages. So that's kind of amazing to me, but they do a lot. So if you've been trying to contact the IRS or find out what's going on with last year's refund or your stimulus payment or things like that, they have been busy. They're not just sitting still twiddling their thumbs, hopefully. And I'm not getting paid to say that on their behalf, but they are doing a lot of things behind the scenes. And so one thing that I found interesting in attending that webinar earlier was that there are forms, and I don't know if you're aware of this. If you do your own taxes, you probably are, where when you go to the IRS website, irs.gov, you can access any previous year's tax forms. And I found one that goes back to, look at this, 1864. So if you thought taxes were simpler back in the day, this is still a 4-page 1040. It's crazy. And although I think on one of those pages it looks like there are instructions, there's a 1-page instruction sheet, but still that still leaves 3 pages of information to fill in for that 1040 from 1864. Get out of here. And then I thought it was interesting to look at the 1040 from the year 1913. That was a good year. So, as always, I thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.